People love Dell's paintings because Dell paints as much the atmosphere as the actual subject.
I didn't come out of the womb thinking I was going to be an artist or a singer or a performer or anything like that. My grandfather was an amateur baritone, and he also was an amateur artist. I'd go over to his house and I'd draw fruit and various things, and that got me sort of started. Decided to go to the University of Hartford Art School.
When Dell was coming up through art school, it was during a moment when more avant-garde people were changing the way art training was done. And so if you went to art school expecting a more traditional education, you really weren't going to get it.
First thing they said, traditional painting, sculpture, drawing, blah, is all dead. We're going to enlighten you with minimalism and all the stuff that was going on in New York at the time, conceptualism and all that. Well, I tried to work with that, but let's put it, didn't go well. You know?
I think I would classify Dell as basically a contemporary realist and someone who's interested in realism and an illustrative kind of realism. Dell has a outgoing personality and a gregarious personality. He was an opera singer for many years, but his paintings are extremely quiet and introspective. I think that his attention to detail is really incredible. And I mean, this is sort of a cliche, but he is one of those painters where people say, is that a painting or is it a photograph? And as they look closer, you can see the brushwork in it, you can see those details, you can see that quality.
I've always enjoyed rural barns, especially if they're slightly distressed. They're not, these new structures that are perfect, the old ones with the wood and, that kind of thing. I added the horse for life. I always try to put inside. I always try to put a little light to show that someone's in there working it.
I think that's one of his sort of little signatures, and it gives you that sense, that if you want to think of it as being somebody's home or something like that, it adds life to the painting. But it's also something that I think is unique to Dell.
I think when you look at the painting, you feel the crispness of that late autumn air. And I think the atmosphere that is in that painting is one that many of us think of as being Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving has always been a great time for getting family and friends together. It's just enjoying each other. You tend to reflect on Thanksgiving a lot and about hopefully what's going well in your life, at least we do.
Dell is one of those artists whose work is really known as sort of quintessentially New England. He paints places that people feel like they may recognize, places that they feel like they may have an attachment to, so it feels familiar and it feels welcoming.
People are drawn to peaceful, and I just like to do that. I think there's enough angst in the world, and I think that's helped me create my style, which has evolved over time. I just paint what I like to paint, and I've been fortunate enough that what I paint, most people like.
Dell really went out, did it his own way, and he makes paintings that are totally his own. The painting that he did for Amica is one of those sort of quiet interludes, a sort of quiet place. You might not expect that such an outgoing person would have made them.
Hi, I'm Delberet Bach. I'm a contemporary artist, and I'm the 2020 Amica Thanksgiving Card Artist. And it's great.